Andy Petree, the vice president of racing competition at Richard Childress Racing, recently revealed that he actually apologized to Sheldon Creed following the race at Martinsville, where he kind of laid the blame on Creed in that at the end of that race. But not only did he say he apologized to Creed, he actually revealed that there was a mechanical failure that caused Sheldon Creed to basically stop in turn 3 and 4, and he did not actually perform a brake check. But before we get to that, let's take a look again at what happened in that wild finish at Martinsville between Sheldon Creed and Austin Hill that ended up with Justin Allgaier taking home the checkered flag. As you can see here, Creed gives Hill a bump up the track, isn't able to really get off of the corner really well. He still gets a good run down the straightaway, moves Hill up the track again. This time he does get in beside him, pushes him up really good. They drag race down the straightaway. They both beat and bang going into turn 3. And then Creed makes the pass, goes up, and then kind of just stops. Hill runs into the back of him. Creed tries to power off the corner, is in a drag race with Allgaier, and it just doesn't get it done. Following that, we would have this video, which was captured by Toby Christie, that shows Petree confronting Sheldon Creed after the race. Let's take a look. So that's that. He went up and basically shouted something at Sheldon Creed. Creed kind of said something back to him. Petree was like, "That's BS." And then Creed retorted, "If he touched me, you wouldn't have said crap." But now we have this here. Petree made an appearance on a NASCAR Race Hub, and he revealed that he actually apologized to Sheldon Creed and then explained that it was a mechanical failure that ended up not allowing Creed to turn the car. So let's take a listen here.
The big question is what happened in turn 3.
Yeah, the racing that you saw, and Bobby kind of explained it. You know, the guys, it's just Martinsville, right? Last lap, guys were trying to get into the final race for the championship. They're beating and banging. But when he got to turn 3 and 4, you saw how he runs up the racetrack, the 2-car did, and to me it looked like it just stopped. I'm like, oh my God, that would look like a brake check to me that took both of our cars out of a chance to go to the final race for a championship. So, I was really frustrated.
So I didn't think it was a brake check because that just didn't really make any sense. I thought he just drove it in too hard and just didn't have the power off, so he had to slow up to catch the car to be able to turn the car, and then he tried to power off the corner, and he just didn't have the power that Allgaier did as he slipped underneath of him. So that's what I thought happened. I didn't think it was a brake check, but we've seen people say that it was a brake check. Petree here is saying he thought it was a brake check. We've seen Landon Castle say that it's a brake check, but my initial reaction, I thought he just overdrove the corner.
Frustrated and probably should have handled it a little better than I did after the race, but it's not what you think you see, right?
Yeah.
I thought that's what it was, but as it turns out, they got together and bent the bumper bar on Sheldon Creed's car going into 3 on the last corner, and when he got down there, he actually couldn't turn the car left, and you see the tire smoke come off of it, and that's what ran him up in front of Austin Hill, and that's why you should keep your mouth shut until you really understand all the facts, and that's not.
So there you have it. It was a broken bumper bar that did not allow him to turn the corner. And then Petree is humble enough to admit that he shouldn't have done what he said. I appreciate that from him. And then if we go on here, he actually apologizes.
What I did, I wasn't real proud of the way I handled that after the race.
Well, yeah, and we did see the video after the race of you going up to Sheldon. Not only what did you say at the time, but what have you said to Sheldon since?
Yeah, well, I reached out to Sheldon. I walked up and just kind of like, this is it. I should be, I'm old enough to know better, right? I shouldn't have done that. But, I did reach out to Sheldon, apologize to him, even before I realized what had happened. I really shouldn't have done that, regardless of the situation. Those guys were putting it all out there, racing for their lives, their championship. And it's kind of up to them to work it out, right?
Yep.
I just wish it would have worked out in RCR's favor.
Let's hear.
So I actually have a lot of respect here from Andy Petree. He admits what he did was wrong. He admits that it was in the heat of the moment. He admits it was out of anger and frustration. And he actually admitted that he went and apologized to Sheldon Creed. And he did it before. He didn't do it publicly. He did it in private. Obviously, he's saying that he did apologize and everything like that. And I guess one could argue him saying this, doing this on NASCAR Race Hub Live is kind of like a PR stunt. But I actually think that he's he's being genuine here and being legitimate, and I actually have a lot of respect for that. So I'm glad that he admitted that, and I'm glad we got an explanation as to what happened going there into turn 3. I know Creed had told NBC News after the race he thought he slipped in some oil, and he thought he bogged it down and just didn't know what was going on. But now we know that it was a broken bumper bar, and he wasn't actually able to turn the car, and it was dragging on the track there, and that's why you saw that tire smoke. So I really do appreciate Petree here, and I think he's being humble, and I do appreciate that. So we'll see what happens when they go to Phoenix. Petree does say that he's going to hope that Sheldon Creed can get out there and win the race at Phoenix, even though it won't be for a championship. But I'll leave it to you. What do you make of what Andy Petree had to say here about him admitting that he apologized to Sheldon Creed and then revealing that Creed's car broke, had a broken bumper bar, and that is why he wasn't able to really turn the corner there, and why it looked like he stopped, and then caused that huge wreck at the end of the race.